Appreciate it. Thank you for everybody being a part again. This is March, being a part of the Creative Group Economics and the Culture Commission collaboration. Thank you for our community. Thank you for all the things we're getting going. Again, this is Women's Month. We're going to get here into some dynamic ladies we got here today. Talk about what motivated them, what got them where they are today, and how can we pay it forward, and how can we bring it back to our community. So we love it. First of all, we're going to have Miss Kia Morris, and we got Miss Angela Vines, and we're going to dig into their stories and see what they talking about. We appreciate it. So let's start with Miss Kia Morris. We're going to put you on the spot.
Bring it on.
So, I'm always going to start real simple. Just real quick, just share with us just a little bit of your journey, just how you got here.
Okay, so first I want to thank everyone for coming out. I know there are incredible women in this room, and I appreciate being on this panel. I'm originally from California, a hairstylist of like 16 years. I was behind the chair, and I experienced hair loss as I was climbing in my career, and I was silenced by it. I lost at every strand. I lost the part of me while I was giving that part to someone else. So I decided to step back from the chair and bridge mental health with the beauty industry and aesthetics, because you can put everything on the outside, but if you don't feel great on the inside and you don't have those tools to build you up, to rediscover who you are as you're losing strands by strands. It could be gradually, it could be suddenly. You have to breathe that and then be open to rediscovering who you are now. And that can be falling in love with hats, scarves, but the best part of it is falling in love with yourself. And then whatever you put on the outside is just an accessory. So I created the Kia Morris Foundation to give back, to bridge community, to bring in professionals to provide tools. And then I also have my own business called Crown's Glory, where we also provide hair and make wigs for women and young girls.
Love it. So let us know a little bit about, just other than your personal journey, like what inspired you? Is it a person that inspired you? What just inspires that drive to just want to do something great?
I mean, it was actually me. I didn't see anyone speaking about hair loss. I was in the industry doing celebrities' hair, and there was a lot of hair loss there, but no one talked about it. It was like this forbidden secret. And even as a stylist, I was battling my own shame internally, so I also didn't talk about it. So I would say I inspired myself to, one, face myself in the mirror, uncover all of the things, because no one knew. I walked in the room and thought everybody knew what I was going through, but flawlessly, you could not tell. Internally, I had to deal with that. And once I started to deal with that, then I was able to connect with my clients. I was able to talk to them and them share more than just marriages, kids, divorces, because keep it 100, we're their therapists. We've been with them years. We know everything, but until you open up and you be authentic and share what you're going through, then someone else can do the same.
Sure. So as you've been going through this journey and just seeing all the difference of people's, personalities, different journeys, different opinions when it comes to things, how do you see women's role as the world changing today with technology, with, jobs, with relationships, with just anything that you see? Just throw it out there. It don't matter where it stick. Go ahead.
So for me, I applaud everyone that came before us. Applaud them. They paved the way. But right now, we're in a different time. We have different resources. We have more reach than ever before. So if we were to come together and provide a space where we can be vulnerable, but also offer resources where people's gifts can be honed, their talents, their fears can be honed, then I think we can do more. We can have a community of our own where we build each other up, where those resources come back, where that loyalty is built, because when one person comes to you and you actually help them, then they'll bring their friend back. And when they get on their feet, then they'll bring their resources back. So if we provide that space and everybody in this room that has a business support each other's business, then we can heal, I say one leg at a time, because you better look good doing it. I mean, and that's just for me, but internally, everybody's hurting internally and they're expressing that outwardly. So if we provide a space that's non-judgmental, where they can come and be themselves with their talents, with their resources, and be guided, then we'll have a place that's visible to the masses, because social media allows us to reach so many different people.
Sure. Okay, before we switch to Miss Angela, I'm gonna add a little commentary to her first. I've been knowing her since college, and I would say one thing about our personal journeys is we never thought that we probably would be in this space that we're in right now. I don't know if you could plan for something like this in its entirety of what we're trying to do. So just real quick too, you can pass it to her. I want to ask you, just share a little bit of your journey after college, just kind of what brought you to this, where you are and who you are today.
Well, good evening, everyone. As Lloyd mentioned, my name is Angela Vines. And so to talk about my journey and what brought me here after attending Prairie View A&M University, I have to first speak on how I grew up, right? So I'm from El Paso, Texas, and I grew up pretty much what every statistic says you're gonna grow up. I grew up with a single home family. I grew up homeless. We grew up in shelters, we grew up in housing, things like that. So growing up in a situation like that where you really rely on those community service to get you into sports, to get you onto teams, those grant-funded projects, leaning on those type of organizations is actually what brought me here, and it's what brought me to Prairie View A&M University. And without Prairie View A&M University, there's no Angela Renee Vines, and I say that and I wear it proudly. So my journey here has just been always philanthropy. I love to give back to organizations that focus on youth specifically. I played basketball at the Prairie View A&M University, and so in my free time, what I like to do is coach specifically young boys. I know that our young women need a lot of bringing up and coaching as well, but my heart in basketball goes out to the young men that need that mentor and that love in not such a militant way. And so that's kind of how I got into a lot of my purpose, is starting to, coach these young children and really realizing that the communities that we live in are the communities that really need us the most. And so just as I've been going through my journey here in Houston, Texas, I started joining organizations. I'm currently the chapter president of an organization that's called National Women of Achievement, the Galena Park Houston Metroplex chapter specifically, and our thrust are senior citizens, youth, and assault on illiteracy. All of the things that without these programs, if you grow up statistically, those are the things that you need to be focused on. Can you read? Do you have the shoes to go outside and play basketball? I've had holes in my shoes before, right? So you see a put together person here, but how did we get here? So it's all about knowing where you come from and knowing that what you can be and how can we get those communities to reach our youth to be the best that they can be if they're given the resources and not just counted out. So that's kind of what brought me here, is always wanting to work with youth, scholarship, women, and it's a fun journey and I enjoy it. So that's how I got here.
All right, real quick, we're gonna be a little bit repetitive, but just let them know just a little bit of just what's your inspiration and motivation. I think a lot of people always seek to find more motivation to keep themselves going and, fulfill their goals. What is some of that kind of motivation and inspiration for you?
For me, again, it goes back to the youth, right? If we didn't have those programs growing up, what would we be? Who would we be? So my inspiration is being able to go into schools and provide backpacks and provide school supplies, especially as somebody who needed those free supplies to be productive while I was in school. So mine is just seeing people that are counted out and are not supposed to be what they are, having the resources available to them to be the best that they can be, regardless of what their home situation is like, what they were born into, what they were raised into. That matters none. It's what you want to do, and you have to be that person that people can see that you can make it as well. We might not be millionaires, but we're millionaires in love, we're millionaires in resources, we're millionaires in our philanthropy. So my motivation specifically is youth scholarship and making sure that everybody knows that there is a resource for them and you're not counted out.
So your business and your area of expertise, do you see that as the way that you want to give back, or the role that you want to play in the community?
For sure. So I own a healthcare consulting firm in infection prevention specifically, and the way that kind of goes hand in hand with this is when people go into the hospital, especially people of color, we are treated the worst, right? We talk about mortality rates in the hospital, we talk about infection rates in the hospital, but what people don't know is that there's people working behind the scene to make sure that when you enter that hospital, you are taken care of just as good as the next person who has that insurance, so that when you come to a hospital, you don't leave with a surgical site infection that you didn't come with, so that you don't leave with a bloodstream infection or a urine infection because the nurses feel that you're less than and they're not taking care of you. They're not taking care of your devices. They're not taking care of your central lines, your Foley catheters. So that goes hand in hand. I really want to be an advocate for the people who are counted out less than, the uninsured, just the people who are often forgotten about because of their socioeconomic status.
For sure, and I'll say this: I want people to know whether you invited just in the audience out here, you sitting up here as a panelist. I have an ulterior motive. My ulterior motive is always to get you involved in the community things that we're doing. How can we activate you? And I tell people, we don't have to activate you in a way that you don't want to give back. All of us have an expertise or role to play. Now, how are we giving that role and expertise back to the community? And I think that's how we have to think about anything that we want to do. So, sorry if my question is always going to lead or curtail to a community solution of how we want to do things and how do we do it better. And that's how I feel like how we need to approach problems within our community. So, with that being said, I won't bother. No. Keep it. I want you to tell me a real challenge that you faced. In anything, and you feel like you've overcome. I feel like this is a job interview question, like tell us something that you overcame,
I would say the most significant challenge is support, financial support. People think starting your own business is easy, and it's really not. There's days that you just don't see the vision or the strategy, and you don't have anyone else there to kind of guide you, but you have to keep going. And just to kind of piggyback on what she said, education is everything. Teaching people and letting them know what resources are out there. Same as in my industry, there's a lot of women that don't even know that they can go to the dermatologist and be diagnosed with hair loss and get a prescription that allows you to have 2 units per year. But that's not something that they're going to tell you. That's for us to teach our community to say that this is out there for you. Go and ask for it. Go and see the doctor and go and seek what's yours. So the best thing I can say is knowledge, getting the word out, spreading the word, having events like this that bring more and more people in and teaching them what resources we have available for them, but also the resources that are also out there that's available to them.
Go ahead, tell me a challenge. Overcame.
So for me, challenges that we've overcome, as she stated, is funding, right? If you're not familiar with the money that's available to you, you don't know how to get it. You're starting a business, you don't know that there's business credit. You don't know that you have to get a DUNS number. You don't know that there's grants specifically made for you because they keep them hidden and they do it on purpose, right? So it's finding the information, like attending events like the commission group and things like that to learn where you can get this funding. If you don't know how to find it, they're not going to come tell us. We have to know somebody that can mentor us into it or tell us about it, or you have to have that spirit of entrepreneurship. And just to be honest, not everybody has that spirit, right? So it's not like a checkbook or a checklist on where to find things, where to find funding, where to find resources. It's how do you find it? And then once you find it, how do you apply it so you can keep it? Anybody can get it. The hard part is keeping it. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges.
Okay, no, I like
Like
that.
money management. There's so many people out here selling a service that actually doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you any resources. They're selling a list of grants that you cannot achieve or they're dated. So it is hard. You have to kind of know someone, or you have to just have that hustle to just look for them on your own. And then there's so many loopholes that you have to jump through just to get the same funding as your counterpart.
You're right, and I say this, I want us to be so proactive, and I'll give you an example. I don't think it's gonna happen now, but we wanted to bring, me and Steve Francis wanted to bring a trade school here to Sunnyside. And when I talk about, people talk about it all the time, go learn a trade, go do the trade, people go do a trade. That's fine, but I say this, as we are building these trade schools, I said I want us to be so proactive. We know that they're doing something in electrical. We need to build an electrical coalition to help them get contracts. Now start independently. We know that they're coming. We know they're going to do an automotive. Why don't we build a 24-hour automotive spot that we know that we're going to invest in? We know we want to bring a grocery store. Where do we want to put it? How are we buying the land around it to monopolize of what we're going to do and what we want the community to go afterwards? That's how proactive I want us to be when we talking about solutions. And I know there's other business coalitions out there, but I'm like, how do we start something like that? Being so proactive, knowing what's really coming down. And I know what's going on, but how do we now start this for everybody else? And I think as ladies are playing such a now more essential role in every part of government, corporate. So, how do we now spread these programs? What do you think you could bring, or what programs you think can be so direct to young ladies? Because I'm gonna say this, it's hard finding ladies to mentor young ladies. And I didn't know how hard that was until we had the beauty supply store. And most ladies didn't want to mentor ladies unless they was 35 and over. And I didn't get that. So what is the challenges to mentoring other ladies in your opinion?
I would say providing a job after that. We can hold and have all these different workshops, but if they graduate from that workshop and they still don't have a job, then it was all for nothing. So then they go back to what they know, which is the things that could potentially land them behind bars, dead, or whatever, because there's actually no resources for them. We're teaching them a trade, but we have not come together to provide the job after that trade. So if you have a beauty supply and you're hosting all these events, okay, then hire the youth that came to your event. It doesn't matter if it was 1, 2, or 20, hire them. And of course, work ethic, all of that is important. But at least they need to know that there is an opportunity there for them to provide for themselves or their family, because a lot of them are coming out at 16 out of the system with no family, nowhere to go, no resources. There is nothing there for them but this hype and this constant distraction of comparison of where they should be and what they should be doing. So guess what? If I'm not getting it in all my efforts of doing good, but I'm constantly being fed what looks good, then I'm coming after that.
I think that is a part of making our communities better. We do have to provide the opportunities. So as we provide those opportunities, we have to see how do we keep, like you say, longevity. We can talk the mentor all we want, but how do we keep providing it?
Yeah, and I also want to add to that, it starts with approach, right? So a lot of the times in the corporate world or just in any instance, you'll hear, you know, my first black teacher was the meanest person I ever met. My first black supervisor was the worst supervisor I have ever met or I've ever encountered. It's the way that we approach these situations. If we're going into a situation where we know we don't see a lot of us, we have to approach that with care. We have to speak to them like they matter and let them know that we are here to teach them and guide them, not to belittle them, not to make them feel like they don't matter, or not to make them feel less than because they're still in a learning stage. If that was the case, then none of us would have went to, especially HBCUs, where a lot of our professors were black. It's the care that they had for us that we wanted to continue on because we like what we saw. And it's the way that you approach them as well. If I know that I'm going into an area where I need to mentor, I'm not coming in with my watch and my red bottoms and my this and the that. I'm coming to meet you where you are. We have our tennis shoes on. Let's go. Let me show you what we can do. Hands dirty, boots on the ground, running. I'm not here to belittle you, make you feel less than because you're not here yet. I'm here to show you that there is a here. Let's show you how to get there, right? It's about working together and letting them know that it's a process. The process just has to be trusted, and trust comes with your initial approach.
I like that.
great.
Well, you know, look, I'm gonna take your advice on the ladies because you got that advice. You got that going. For sure. No. What she's talking about, you know, we do have a foster care program where we deal with a lot of foster care kids. We do school visits, we do home visits. So we try to reach the kids at every level, from elementary to middle school to high school. You're gonna see us, you know, dealing with the college students. So we just want to be their presence. I guess that leads up to my next question. How can not only, well, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna say this, and I wouldn't ask this question unless it's Women's Month. But how can men be a better support in what you ladies are doing or what you want to accomplish, if we can be?
I think men are essential. Yes, women are nurturers and they're paving the way in so many different arenas, but it does not take away from the effect of men. You have boys out here, young men that are being guided in the wrong direction because they have nothing else to look up to. Or like she said, you showed up in your red bottoms and, you know, you made me feel like this was unattainable because I came in some shoes that are hand-me-downs. So it's reaching them at their level. It's showing them that, hey, I'm you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to uplift you. But I'm going to be on your ass, too, because I expect excellence. I expect excellence. So I expect you to show up when you say you're going to show up. I expect you to participate even when you don't feel like it. All of us don't feel like it some days.
Come on now, don't hold me
But
accountable
guess
now.
what? We still had to show up. We still had to get up. We still had to come here because it means something. So when you get past all of that with compassion and empathy and respect, because they also deserve respect as well. They're men. They're young men. So you respect them, they'll give that back. That tough love actually works for men, but then you have to talk to them outside of that. That's why therapy is so important now, and more men are going to therapy to talk to other men just to offload their day-to-day. So men are needed.
Yeah, and I would also add that, again, it goes back to trust. I mean, we just saw it with the last election, right? We needed Biden to be able to trust Harris to take a step back and know that she could be put at the forefront, but he knew she was trusting his guidance and his leadership. So I think in some cases, we do need for men to understand that we value you, we love you, we hear you, we respect you, but sometimes you may need to push us in the forefront so that we can get that message to the people that need to hear it. And hear it in a different way. So Biden and Harris, you know, I just go back to say that because that was kind of a tag team duo there as well. I think we just need men to and they're doing a great job at it, but just be able to trust us in these instances to know that in some aspects we have a different approach and maybe we will reach a different demographic that you may not be honing in on, and just being able to trust putting us in the forefront while you guys work in the back and let us lead sometimes. We love to be led, but sometimes certain endeavors, we need to be the leaders just to get that certain group of people to trust, feel nurtured, feel that they're heard, seen, and we just need that trust from our black men.
Got you. I like that. Say we work from the back. Okay.
Soften the blow.
All right. Just I want to have a transparent moment real quick as we round up here. Let people know, what do you do? How does your day-to-day look like? Because I think when we talk about all this stuff we're doing and being obtainable and not obtainable, when people see this, what do your day-to-day look like? So people know you're a normal person. You know, you're not out here flying around the world. You're in Paris one day and Mulan and then.
Listen, although I would love to be there, that is not reality. My day-to-day sometimes consists of forcing myself to get up. Like, we have to understand we're in a world where a lot of people are zombies, depressed. They're going through a lot of things, and just the mere thought of getting out of the bed sometimes is hard. So you can't always show the glitz and the glam. You need to show, like, today was tough. Today was tough. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to, but guess what? I got up. I started little by little, second by second. Don't give yourself these grand expectations. Take it moment by moment. So in this moment, I was able to get up and do this. Congratulate yourself. Appreciate that. Applaud yourself, because that's important. That'll get you to the next step. And then you look up for the day and you've gotten more things done than the list that you had on your wall that felt like it was impossible, because you saw it as a complete list. Take it moment by moment, step by step, and do the best that you can. I'm an advocate for meditation and sitting still and getting the God downloads, because that's important. And rest is also important as well. When your body is telling you to sit down and relax and rest, do that, because you don't want to be forced to do it. So listen to your body, get those downloads, and then get up and take it step by step, moment by moment, second by second, and encourage yourself and applaud yourself for doing that.
Come on now. I'm going to have to refer you a book called Stillness is Key if you haven't already read it. Everybody know me. I'm a big referrer of books, so I'm going to make sure I get that to you.
Yes, definitely let us know. And yes, as she said, listening to your body, but every day is different depending on what you have going for the day, depending on what your body's telling you. People see people in, who are entrepreneurs or who have their own business or who are in a career. Guess what? I have my own healthcare consulting firm, and I still work a 9 to 5. I have to travel 2 times a week to go to work to be able to pay for these businesses that I have. So Big Mama be tired, okay? I be tired. And people don't see that part, the back and forth. And then, when you take on other endeavors, I'm a president of an organization. So that's 22 members whose problems now become my problems. Their aches become my aches. Anything they need, you are on call for them. If there's a death in their family, you are on call. If they need something to fulfill their project, you are the person that needs to reach out to whoever to get them that information. And then you have a family. You have your siblings. If you have a spouse, you have your mom. Then you're still, we're women. So we're constantly seeking friendships too that are growing with where we're growing. We're still constantly looking for mentors that are moving in the direction that we're looking for. So making sure that we have a social life and making sure that we're staying up to date with everything that's going on. So day to day looks different, but as long as it looks productive for what you wanted it to be that day. If productivity is staying in the bed all day and watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all think I know something about this? Then guess what? I'm staying in the bed and I'm watching TV all day. If it means that I'm getting up at 7 o'clock and I'm going to the gym and I'm meal prepping, then that's what that's going to be. But it's all about setting your goals and just realizing every day is not a go. Because sometimes you have to ask yourself, and this is my mom's favorite question, where where are you going? Where are you going? You are just getting up because you feel you have to move. You feel you have to go to Target. You feel you have to go to Home Goods to find something. It's okay to just chill. You know, and every day isn't glitz and glamour. Your hair is not done. Your makeup, you haven't put makeup on in 2 weeks. You're behind the computer in your home office. You know, you're just getting things done. So day to day isn't day to day, right? It's not one common look. Every day is totally different. So it's just about moving forward and, you know, filling up your cup while still having to fill up others at the same time, especially if you're a mother, if you're a caretaker. Everything looks different. For me, I don't have any children, so I really just have myself to worry about in my household, but there's other responsibilities that come with that. So there is no specific day to day, but it's all busy.
Sure, no, I love it. I'm glad to know all these boss ladies. I'm gonna tell you what it is. This money burning a hole in y'all pocket. I mean, you know, we got campaigns and stuff coming up. If y'all just want to give money away, I know who to call when I need 100 or two, you know, just saying. So, but no, it's good. So as we close, I want y'all to leave the people with something. Leave us with a nugget of solutions, of steps, of not a bunch of steps, maybe like 2. So just leave us something with you feel like that the people need to know that you didn't get to mention earlier.
I think for me, we're flooded with so much, so we're missing the actual timeline of harvest, of seed, plant, harvest. So when you shut out the noise and shut out the world, then you actually get to see your own timeline, and that looks different. It's not immediate, it's not a snapshot, it's you starting from thought to writing it on paper and putting it out in the universe and then watching that thing grow. And if we keep focusing on what everybody else's success looks like, then we miss the fun part of pursuing our own. And really knowing that it took time. And that moment, any successful person will tell you that was the best time that they had. Getting there. Arriving is a whole nother dimension and a whole nother level. So enjoy the process. Whatever that looks like for you, enjoy the process and stop gauging yourself, your performance, your business, whatever that is, against someone else.
Yes, and that's actually one thing that I was going to mention is that it's enjoying the process and realizing where you are. A lot of times, especially wherever you are, whether you're in entrepreneurship, if you're in corporate, whatever you're doing, you always look at what's next. So you got the job, right? You're so excited to get the job, and then you get in there, and 2 months later, I want to be the director. Then you get the director role, and oh my God, I want to be the VP. Have you enjoyed the process of actually getting there? Have you sat back and thank God for where He brought you and said, I'm here sitting still in what you have for me before I think about what's next? You know, you get your first car, and then the next thing is, oh my God, now I want a truck. Then you get that truck, and it's, I want a Benz. And then you get that Benz, and it's enjoy the process. You're only going to get this time once, right? Like I said, I'm the chapter president, and I had to take a step back and say I was only in the organization for about 1.5 years before I was thrust into that position. And then everybody was asking, well, are you going to be the regional director next? Excuse me, can I enjoy my first term? I will never get this first term back. No matter how many times you become the president again after that, it's never your first term anymore. Sit and enjoy the moment. Enjoy where you are. Learn and harvest everything in this season to prepare you for the next season. And sometimes just take a slow down and a step back and just be grateful for where you are. And as she said, your journey may not look, and it will not look like everybody's journey, but just appreciate it, because sometimes this is life. The other side may not be what you were looking for. And we don't talk about that a lot. You get to that next step and you don't know that once you cross over, your life will never be the same. So enjoy where you are, enjoy the process that you have, the people that you have in your life, and just take a step back. And one thing that my good friend Lloyd Ford has told me for the past few months is just show up. If you just show up, you can do anything. Me and one of my good friends, Gigi, if we don't have anything going on with my organization, we go downtown and we give out hand warmers. It might not be on a big scale where everybody's watching and you can document it, but we go give hand warmers to the homeless. If we have some hand sanitizers, we'll just go pass that out. So it's just taking a step back and doing what you can. Just keep going, moving forward. And I know Lloyd said he didn't want that to be long, so I'm going to stop there.
Go ahead. We got a question.
Persistence. No matter what, keep going. No matter how many no's, keep going. No matter how you feel, keep going. Be present enough to be aware of that feeling. Feel it. It's okay to feel it. You're human. So you're going to feel it. Like she said, not every day is going to be a great day. And that's okay. It's not going to be a great day. Give yourself time to feel it and then get up and do something about it. And that's what gets you to the next level. You don't need to know the how, the why, or the when. You just need to move. You take one step, God is going to take 10.
And for me, my word would be, and I honestly don't care if this offends anybody in this room, my word would be God. Because I look back and I'm like, how? I explained earlier, my growing up, and sometimes a lot of people ask me, how did you get into infection prevention? God. I don't know. I don't know how he got a 22-year-old, back when I started, into a career path, who started out as a nursing student but didn't want to leave Prairie View because she didn't want to go to nursing campus because she didn't want to leave the Hill. So how do you go from a health education major into a career that literally every hospital needs, and he just never fails you? How is your mortgage paid every month? How did you double your salary? And I was denied for my home a year later to the date, could go in there and get any home that I wanted. And I literally say, thank you, God, because how? Why me? And so that's the only thing I can offer, is just trusting him and knowing that he's never going to fail me, and I've never been denied anything that I didn't need, because if I didn't get it, it just wasn't for me.
That door closed was protection, baby.
Again, no, I just want to thank you ladies for coming up here, sharing us with some nuggets. Everybody know the full interview is going to be on the Creative Group Economics YouTube channel. I want to thank the Culture Commission. Again, I want to thank the Spot Edo. We're going to be here every second Monday. Please come out. The next Monday, we will be talking about the candidate selection process in our grassroots communities. So it may get a little spicy up in here. We like it. So, but again, we always want to lead this up with solutions and how we bring it back to our communities. We want to thank everybody. We're going to lead the rest for networking. Thank y'all. Have a good night.